Hello everyone, welcome to Hue at Home. I'm Tracy Koga, and that is Lennard Taylor's new book, The Art of Living. Now you might know Lennard Taylor is an artist and also as a fashion designer, and he's made many a woman very happy stepping into his store here in Winnipeg. Well, we visit Lennard in his studio. He, I guess, rolls up his sleeves a little bit and shares some of his life, some of his philosophies, and also more about where he's headed to in the future. Don't go away. We have a sit-down chat with Lennard Taylor. Well, it is so good to see you, Lennard. It has been, well over 2 years, and we all know these last 2 years have been unbelievable, but somehow you have weathered the storm like you always do. So fill us in. I mean, life has been kind of crazy for you too, right?
Oh, it's been beautiful. Honestly, I've welcomed the change in my career and focus on my art. And what has always been, my strongest and most passionate, work is my artwork. And so, COVID taught me a lot of lessons, and it slowed me down, and it just made me focus in on the things that really matter in life, and that make me smile and feel good, and therefore make others smile and feel good. So. I feel very fortunate and grateful for this.
Well, and it's interesting because I've known you for so many years, and yes, I'll admit it was the fashion, of course, that attracted me. But you're an artist first, and then when I really look closer to everything that you have to offer, it is really art that has been your life, right?
Yeah, it definitely has. I come from two creative parents, and painting was always around and something to play with, and it's just fun, and I love it so much. And clothing design as well. It's art you get to wear, and both of them are just wonderful. And I love that garments and things that I make people feel that, and they feel confident, and it warms my heart.
Well, it's interesting you say that because there is I think a really neat story on how you even got into fashion. And I didn't know that you did play soccer. You were actually a pretty darn good player, correct?
I was good, but evidently not good enough. But it's I looked at that as a powerful moment in my life because I was a young man. I was overseas in Europe. My whole family, my whole world was in Canada, 7 hours away. So when I woke up, they were all sleeping, and it was just really empowered me as a person, and I'm grateful for that opportunity. It was wonderful, and that's where I fell in love with fashion, and just like seeing the different styles and the European way of life, and it's very inspiring, and so it's a great opportunity all around.
Well, I don't know. I guess a lot of fashion designers do have this philosophy about, making people feel good in the clothing that they design, but I think that you've kind of taken it to another level too as well, Lennard, in your own special way.
Thank you. What an honor.
Well, it's true. And I mean, even, okay, so when you have incredible, I guess, creative ideas on how to reinvent, say, a shirt, right? You draw something on it or you paint something on it and you make it a different creation.
Yeah, well, for me, it's all about clothing for life. Your clothing tells a story of who you are, where you're going, what you're doing, and that's beautiful and should be honored. And so if you rip your shirt, it doesn't have to go away. I can just stitch it up, put a patch on it, train you to put a patch on yourself, paint it if it's stained. Like, you can do a number of different things to make your clothing continues on and has more life, because it's a lot of value in the cotton, the shirting, that it takes a lot to make these garments, and we can't just be throwing them away anymore. It's just wrong. It's a societal wrong, and I hope to change that. Yes,
I think you will. And can I share this story that you actually wore the same outfit for how long?
Yes, I wore the same outfit for 3 weeks straight. 3 weeks, I wore the exact same shirt and pair of pants, and no one noticed. My wife didn't notice. None of my colleagues that I work with noticed. No one noticed, and I was just shocked. And for me, that really said something about how we look at clothing and how we look at people wearing clothing. And it's just it was a fundamental shift. And then I went, well, people don't really care what you're wearing. As long as you look good and you feel good, no one, you can just wear the same thing over and over. And that's a beautiful thing and a very powerful thing if we're going to change the energy usage and the water wastage that we have on our garments.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's switch it up to your artwork then. Are they connected? Does art inspire your fashion, or does fashion inspire your art?
I think it's an amalgamation of both. It just transcends my career on different paths, and I'm really grateful for both. Art is definitely my number one. It inspires everything in my life, and that's why I'm looking to make art that moves people and sparks conversation, because sparking conversation in one's life is something very valuable, and especially right now in the era that we find ourselves.
And let's talk about moving forward. Like, you've created such a special brand here in Winnipeg. I mean, your clientele loved you, and you've created a persona in yourself too as well. What makes you stay here in Winnipeg?
I do really love it here. I have an exceptional house with my two in-laws. My wife and I were looking for a house a couple of years ago, and her mom and dad were moving from Brandon to Winnipeg, and I said, babe, let's move in with them and buy a big character house, and we did, and it's exceptional. So that is a big draw for me and my wife. We have a comfortable, wonderful life. I can have a wonderful retail store like this and then expand to bigger ones and bigger ones. So, it's just, it's an exciting place to live. And I do also love the four seasons, the crispness of winter, the hot summer's day, like jumping in a cold lake. There's like nothing better than jumping in a cold lake. And it's beautiful here.
And through all of this, I guess, life lessons that you've learned, you seem to, and can I say this, you seem to have mellowed, and life has become more enriched, obviously, for you. And he's nodding he's nodding his head. Yes. So what have you learned through all of this? And, regardless of COVID, things probably would have been what they are for you now today.
Yeah, it's beautiful to be able to stay in the moment is really what I've learned a lot and grown, is to just be more present in the moment and be aware of what's around and being, conscious of how everyone feels. And it's beautiful, to just kind of slow things down to the fundamentals of life and art and creation.
And what do you forecast for spring coming up?
For spring?
Yes.
Forecasting?
Yes. Not weather.
I don't know.
Not weather. Talking about fashion. Yeah, talking about fashion, our favorite.
For me, it's all about collecting essentials in your wardrobe that are going to last you a lifetime. Things that you really need and honor and cherish and love, and that will, guard you from the elements of life. So for me, it's all about essentials. Like, what does your wardrobe say about you? And that's a big conversation that people need to address in their own fashion consciousness.
Well, and I'm curious too, because you've come across so many clients now in your career. What is the most often question asked to you?
Well, what should I wear? Yeah, a lot of clients come in my shop and just say, dress me. And I play dress up with them. I just pick things that I know are going to be flattering for their body and shape and coloring. And, I've been doing it for 17 years, dressing people. So I can look at you and go, this, and this is going to make you feel great. And, that's, wonderful. It's a gift, and I'm so happy to share it with people.
Well, we're so happy for you to share it with us too as well. And yes, folks, he is a genius at that. You can walk in and walk out feeling really good. So we are going to continue our conversation, Lennard, because we can add now author to your title, which I have done. And we're going to talk about your book and talk about the fashion industry. In this past 17 years, you've learned a lot behind the scenes, in front, and in the limelight. And perhaps it's time for you to speak out. So we'll hear all about what Lennard has to say. But in the break, we are going to have a profile on Bradley McKay. He also is an artist, a special artist with Artbeat Studios, and they do some wonderful work. So don't go away. More from Lennard Taylor, and this is Hue at Home.
A lot of my artwork reflects who I am, and kind of like some of the artists will do some self-portraits. So I did a few of those as well, but those don't get sold. Those will go to my kids. But yeah, just everything inspires me, like beauty and nature, and just family and everything. Artbeat has been very supportive from day one. I've been with them since I was in the program in 2016. So it's going on 6 years. Since I was in the program, I started facilitating here almost immediately, at our old location. And I've done facilitated over 200 workshops with Studio Central and other locations as well. So I studied and graduated as an addictions counselor and community service worker, but because of my PTSD and other things, I'm taking time off and trying to get my head together so I can help others, because you need to be healthy for that. And if you're not healthy to help others, and so I use art of connecting and use a bit of that therapy stuff, and we learned in school, and using art and just talking to people in the community. Just engaging them, because a lot of people just want to be engaged and noticed and listened to, and that's what art does for us.
Girl, you know what's up. Ooh, say what, say what, say what. Girl, you know what's up. Ooh, say what, say what, say what. So tell me what's up. I'm digging you. I'm hitting you. Girl, you know what's up. Say I'm digging you, and I'm wanting you. So tell me what's up.
Welcome back to Hue at Home. Our special guest is Lennard Taylor. He is an artist, fashion designer, and I have now officially added author. And I'm sure there's more titles that we're going to add to this young man's name before the decade is out. But anyways, this is Lennard Taylor's Art of Living, and I was going to actually key you, Lennard, as the artist of lifestyle. I thought that was pretty good. I thought that was pretty clever.
Wow, you honored
know.
me. Thank you so much.
Oh, so when I heard that you were coming out with a book, my mind first went, oh, it's going to be a biography. It's going to be all about his, ins and outs, and about his creativeness and his art and his fashion. And then when I read it and started reading it, it is really about life. So when did you become Lennard Taylor, the guru of life? Or was this something always within you?
I think it's just, we are who we are, and for me, it's been a wonderful journey so far, and life's been good to me, and I try to be as good as I can to others and those around me, and just honor that I'm a human being, and there's only the one race, the human race, and I'm just fortunate to be part of it.
So how did you come up with all the different subject matters? Like there's different topics, and then you have the writings and the sayings, and I like it because then you reflect on your own life and make it real.
Yeah, I just sharing my experiences through life. I was writing the book for about 2.5 years, and then during the pandemic, one of my clients came and gave me a copy of my book because I share my thoughts on social media channels, and she collected a bunch of quotes and my artwork and images, and then gave it a hardcover copy of the book to me, and I was, wow. Oh my goodness, I cried, obviously. And when, if that's not the universe telling me to finish my book, I don't know what is. And I was just really grateful. And I went, okay, well, I've got to put the book on the front burner here, and with my sister's help, who has years of graphic design knowledge, we created the book together. And I'm just, I'm so fortunate to have a sister like that, and be able to find these words after I'm finished my meditation and stretching each morning. It's just it's a blessing.
And how has this had like an effect on your own life personally?
Well, I'm an artist, so I have the extreme highs and extreme lows. That's kind of the thing that you struggle with as an artist with mental health issues and things. It's just you got to be open and honest, and surround yourself with people that make you feel good, and notice when you're having those lows, but also having those highs. So I'm very, very fortunate to have the people around me that I do.
And it hasn't always been an easy ride, right? Like when you say surround yourself by people that you love. And I guess we're, continually searching for that. And those of us that are fortunate that do find them. But what was it in your life where you knew that you needed to do this? You needed to find people that loved you to be around.
It just happened naturally, just be kind, and kindness will come back to you is kind of a motto that I like to live by.
And I guess throughout all of your career, it's always been a spiritual thing. So for spirituality, what would you say, or how would you say you found success through being spiritual?
I would say dedication, dedication and consistency. And those are two, very defining keep things in my life.
Yes, no doubt. And now, okay, so let's talk about the fashion industry. You sort of touched on it in the first part, talking about waste and what we wear and who is making the clothes, etc., etc. What have you found out?
Well, it's a disgusting industry, and it's a societal wrong that we're all guilty of and we're all part of. But there is a solution. There's a way to rethink clothing in our minds and our consciousness, and just really be more conscious of what we're wearing and what our clothes say about us.
Okay, and so the future projects down the road.
So right now I'm working on a massive, ambitious art installation that will transform and inspire and motivate and educate viewers to see fashion and clothing in a different light, because it is art that you get to wear, and the more we honor that, the better the societal wrong will be.
So can you give us a little bit more or specifics on that, Lennard?
So it'll be a kind of a come full circle show. So you'll enter in and experience, just the atrocities and the wrongs of the industry, the pollution, how it's actually made and done and processed. the true cost of fashion, as you would say, you know, and that is, you know, the first part. So it's really gonna, you know, it's not going to be very nice. It's going to make you feel weird, and it's supposed to. And then you go into how we change it, right, and how we re-look at clothing as a whole, and be more conscious to have essentials that we consistently wear and repurpose and darn and paint if we need to, so they last a lifetime. We just don't need to make clothes anymore. It's getting silly.
So that gets me thinking, repurposing stuff that we have in our closets?
Everything, yeah. Everything we can repurpose, we can redo. If you want to make something, make it with sustainability. You know, number one, sustainable. You know, we can't just keep throwing out all this textile waste into our environment. It won't work.
Or then maybe we can bring our extra clothing to you to make more.
Yeah. Well, I hope to have a big warehouse right away, and so I'll have lots of place for clothes.
Why do you want to do this, Lennard, at this point in time?
I just feel it's right in my gut. You know, my whole career I've trusted my gut, and it hasn't steered me wrong. And I just feel, you know, it's time to do this. It's time to you know, end a societal wrong. And it's just my gut's telling me to do it, so I'm going. The gut brain and this brain, we're making it happen.
And no doubt you will. Do you have like the support of other fashion designers too that are like-minded like you?
I don't know. I haven't brought it up with a lot of people, but I'm sure sustainable fashion designers would be like, yeah, this is fantastic. You know, let's go back to when you knew your tailor and your tailor knew you.
Oh, yes, the good old days when you really had a relationship. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. They knew your body and what you liked, and you know, helped you out.
No. And I think too, in these times now that we're living in, I think it gives us a lot of time to reflect, right, on so many different things, and so much of what you've talked about now. Certainly we have a lot more to think about moving ahead. I do want to talk about, though, one last thing, and I loved it. It's in your book, and you know what? You have to go get this book because there's so many different cool things in it. But I love the dirty hanger trick. Is that correct?
The ugly hanger.
The ugly hanger. The ugly hanger, not the dirty hanger. Well, you know,
Yeah.
it could be dirty.
Yeah, don't use the dirty one.
The ugly hanger.
The ugly hanger trick. It's a beautiful technique that I suggest to anyone that wants to organize their closet without having to organize their closet. So what you do is you take an ugly hanger or a recognizable hanger and you put it at one far end of your closet, okay? And then every day you wear something and you're going to put it back on the other side of the ugly hanger. Now you continually do this for a number of months. You can continually draw from the stuff you've already worn, but as soon as you wear it, you have to put it on the other side. At the end of 6 months, 1 year, however long, everything on this side is what you're wearing. Everything on this side, you're not wearing. So let's reevaluate this, right? And that's the ugly hanger trick. And you can use that for, you know, in a drawer, just use, a sock even if you want. You can just go through your stuff slowly, bit by bit, and then, you know, it's done. You know what you're wearing.
There you go. And without having the angst of, oh, I'm going to wear that still.
Exactly.
And that is the hardest thing, right? Is that you don't want to let go of things. And you're so right. There is so much waste. And we can hardly wait for this huge project to come about. And you know what? Hopefully it comes at a time, right, where we can reopen, we can be with each other, we can experience it in person. And I think it will be an incredible thing for Winnipeg. And I just want to know, and here's your chance to, Lennard, for you to say anything you want to all of the people that have walked through your doors and have left a different person, or at least a happier person. Yeah, it's your chance to kind of, whatever you want to say, because it is magical. We've said thank yous enough to you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Honestly, to all of you who have been to my shop, thank you so much for coming and exploring and taking your time, seeing all the different things that there are to see with paintings and art and words and inspiration and education and all of these different elements. So thank you to everyone who's come and helped me grow and helped my team grow and enjoyed it, because that's why I make products, is to make people smile and feel good, you know. And I make art that you get to wear that makes you just feel strong and like you can take on the world, and that's powerful. And I'm just so happy and thankful to all of you for you know joining in the community, because that's what it is. It's a community of like-minded individuals, and I'm very, very grateful to all of you. And to anyone that hasn't experienced my work yet, I hope to see you soon, or help you, or make you smile, or educate, or however I can help. I just want to make people smile and feel good.
Oh, wow. Well, we definitely do say a big thank you to you, Lennard. Congratulations. He's online, lennardtaylor.com. Of course, you've got to get the book, Lennard Taylor's Art of Living. And if not, go visit him in person at his store in the Exchange on McDermott, 246 McDermott Avenue. It's been a pleasure, Lennard. This relationship has been, so wonderful. And I'm so happy and proud to see where you are today. So kudos to you. And hey, watch me on Hue Living Room, because Lennard will be dressing me. So thank you so much, and we'll see you soon, Lennard.
So the Hive is a climbing and fitness facility, so we're bouldering only, which means no ropes or harnesses. We use mats for protection. But the 4 pillars of our business are climbing, education, health and wellness, and community, and those aspects all kind of come together to create like a 5-star climbing experience.
We want to give a very special thank you to all of our special guests on today's show and leave you with this question. If you had a choice, what color would you paint your life in? We want to know, so send us an email to hello@ilikehue.com, or you could message us on Facebook and Instagram at iLikeHue. But for now, stay safe and healthy, and we'll see you next time on Hue at Home.